Blake had everything a man could ever dream of. He was young, brilliant, and the billionaire owner of one of the world's biggest companies. He had money, influence, cars, private jets, but not peace. Every morning, he woke up surrounded by gold, yet feeling empty inside. The city lights outside his penthouse meant nothing when the nights were cold and silent. Across the city, in a small apartment that barely stayed warm, lived Lena Hart, a single mother with a heart full of courage. Each day before sunrise, she tied her hair into a messy bun, woke her little daughter Sophie, and pushed an old stroller filled with flowers and homemade candles to the local market. The streets were her stage, and survival was her daily performance. She smiled through exhaustion, laughed through pain, and loved her child with every fiber of her soul. Life was never easy for Lena, but she never complained. She taught Sophie to find beauty in small things. A sunrise, a smile, a wildflower growing through the cracks. Yet deep inside, she often wondered if life would ever give her something more than struggle. One rainy afternoon, fate decided to answer. As Lena crossed the street with Sophie in her arms, a sleek black car came rushing around the corner. Tires screeched, horns blared, and her heart stopped. The car halted just inches away. Water splashed across the road, and for a moment, everything froze. The door opened, and out stepped a man in a tailored black suit, holding an umbrella. His face was familiar, the kind you see on magazine covers and news headlines. Ethan Blake, the billionaire himself. He rushed toward her, worried. "Are you all right?" he asked, his voice calm but filled with guilt. Lena nodded quickly, clutching her daughter close. "We're fine," she said softly. Ethan glanced down at the flowers spilled across the wet pavement, their colors fading under the rain. Something about that sight, the broken petals, the weary mother, the frightened child, touched something deep inside him. That night, he couldn't sleep. For the first time in years, Ethan thought about more than business, more than profits. He thought about her, the woman who didn't scream or demand, who simply picked up her flowers and kept walking. The next morning, he made a call. When Lena received the message that Mr. Ethan Blake wanted to see her, she thought it was a mistake. People like her didn't get invitations from billionaires. But curiosity won, and she found herself standing nervously in a tall glass building, clutching her handbag. Ethan greeted her warmly. "I just wanted to apologize," he said, smiling, "and perhaps make things right." He offered her money for the flowers she lost, but she shook her head politely. "Please, sir, you don't have to do that. I'm fine." That answer surprised him. Everyone wanted something from him. Everyone but her. As she left, Ethan found himself smiling for no reason. And that was the beginning of something neither of them saw coming. Over the next few weeks, Ethan found excuses to visit the market. At first, he told himself he just liked the coffee there. But soon he knew the truth. He wanted to see her. He liked the way Lena talked about life, how she laughed with the other vendors, how she treated strangers with kindness. She had nothing, yet she lived as if she had everything. He started buying her flowers, the same ones she sold. She would laugh and ask, "Why buy what you already have in your garden, Mr. Blake?" And he would answer, "Because they smell better when they come from you." Little by little, a friendship grew between them, quiet, genuine, and beautifully simple. Lena taught him to slow down, to listen to the rain, to smile at the sunrise. He taught her to believe in dreams again. For the first time in a long time, Ethan felt alive. But when a billionaire falls for a single mother, the world doesn't stay silent. Soon the headlines screamed, "Billionaire Ethan Blake spotted with mystery flower seller." The tabloids exploded. His board of directors panicked, and his family was furious. His mother, a woman of status and power, told him coldly, "This woman will destroy your reputation." Ethan stood his ground, but Lena couldn't bear it. She saw the photos, the comments, the harsh words. People called her a gold digger, a distraction, a scandal. That night, she sat by her window and wrote a small note. "Thank you for showing me kindness, Ethan, but your world will never accept mine." She left the next morning without saying goodbye. When Ethan arrived at the market and found her stand empty, his heart dropped. He searched everywhere, every flower shop, every corner of the city, calling her name like a man who had lost everything. But she was gone. Days turned into weeks. His meetings meant nothing. The empire he built felt meaningless. For the first time, Ethan Blake understood what real loss felt like. Then one quiet afternoon, months later, he found himself driving through a small coastal town. On the side of the road stood a little flower stand decorated with wild daisies, her favorite. He stopped the car, stepped out, and there she was, Lena. She looked up, stunned. "Ethan?" He smiled faintly, tears in his eyes. "I finally found you," he said. "I sold part of my company. I needed to breathe again. I needed you." She shook her head, emotional. "You gave up everything." He stepped closer. "No, Lena. I finally found something worth everything." They stood there for a long moment, two souls who had been broken by life but healed by love. For Ethan, it wasn't about wealth anymore. It was about peace, about the woman who showed him what truly mattered. Months later, Ethan took Lena and Sophie back to the city, not to his skyscraper, but to a small shop downtown. On the glass sign above the door were two simple words: Sophie's Garden. Lena gasped as she read it. Ethan smiled. "It's yours." A new beginning. Then he knelt down right there on the shop floor and held out a small ring. "I don't need an empire, Lena. I just need you. Will you marry me?" Tears filled her eyes. She nodded, whispering, "Yes." 1,000 times yes, Sophie laughed, hugging them both, and the city outside seemed brighter than ever. Years passed. Their love didn't fade, it deepened. Together they built a foundation that helped single parents start small businesses, inspired by Lena's journey. Every morning Ethan still brought her a bouquet of daisies, smiling as he said, "These remind me of you." And Lena would laugh, whispering, "You don't have to keep buying them, you know." "I do," he would say softly, "because they remind me how love found me in the most unexpected place." And so, the billionaire who once had everything found the only thing that truly mattered: love, laughter, and a home that money could never buy. Because in the end, wealth fades, fame disappears, but love is the only fortune that lasts forever.